Before we get going, let's go ahead and have everybody start typing in where you're from. Do our weekly roll call. You guys know we love to see where you're coming in from. So it looks like so far we got Carol in Newman, California. Oh, they're jumping so fast now. Jenny in Fresno, Joellen in Phoenix, Debbie in Ohio, Brenda in California, Kathy from Ohio. Oh my gosh, you're all jumping on at the same time, so they're scrolling past me faster than I can read them. Leandra from Milpitas, California, another Fresno, Sharon, hi. Mo from Idaho, hey, we're going to see you in person soon, Mo, at the Boise show. And lots more California. So hi, everybody, and we're so excited to have you join us. As always, we're going to start with some of our housekeeping things that we need to get out of the way. Now, the first thing we want to talk about is next week is finally Sacramento. So that is our next live in-person show. Now, for those of you that are new that don't know how it works when we're at a live show, we will not have our regular Wednesday live at 2 o'clock like normal. When we're at a live show, we do actually 3 days in a row of live broadcasts. So we start with Wednesday. We give you a behind the scenes look of what it takes to set up the show, and then give you kind of a sneak peek of who all is there. And then Thursday and Friday, we do vendor interviews. Now, the one big difference is it's always going to be at 3 o'clock local time wherever we are, because Beth and I can't really be out of our booths until, the traffic kind of slows down. So for those of you in California that are used to it always being at 2, remember, we will be at 3 o'clock Pacific time for all 3 days next week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Now, of course, we hope that you're coming in live to see us face-to-face and in person. And remember, if you come to the show, be sure you come to my booth and Beth's booth, and also Adele from Chalk Couture, and also Teresa and Anna from the Big Mat Rotary Cutting Surface. Come and say, I get wild with you on Wednesday, and we have a special little gift for you. Now, we want to remind you, though, if we're swamped busy, make a loop, come back by before you leave, because it is kind of hard for us to stop and chat and not be taking care of those paying customers to be giving you guys your free gifts. So just make sure we're not real busy when you do that, but we're going to be very excited to see you. Now, also, don't forget, we have our first annual and let me not call it annual yet. We want to see how it goes this time, but we are having our meet and greet after party on Friday night at the Arden Star Hotel on Howe, Howe Street. And that is, again, from 6:30 to 8:30. You do need to buy a ticket if you're coming, because we have to have a count. We are going to have to cut off ticket sales at the end of this week. So to buy the ticket, all you got to do is go to my website, justnotions.com, and click on Wild Wednesday, and you'll see the ticket right there, quick and easy. And that ticket price goes to cover the expenses, and then everybody that comes to the party, when you show your receipt, your ticket, or whatever, just we check your name off. You're all going to get an amazing goodie bag full of stuff donated by our wonderful vendors. In addition, several of our regular Wild Wednesday vendors are going to be there. So you're going to get time to just kind of socialize with them and get to know them a little bit better. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We have a lot of people coming in from quite a ways away. So we hope you can join us. Again, that's going to be on Friday night from 6:30 to 8:30. If you're coming, we keep reminding you, stop and get a hamburger or something on your way, because we're not feeding you dinner, but we will have snacks and waters available. Okay. Let's see, what else have we got? So we've got 3 terrific vendors on today. We want to remind you that if you have questions for the vendors, hold them till the end of the show. At the end of the show, we're going to bring everybody back on the screen, and then you can type in your questions. If you type them in too soon, because like I just said just now, the things were scrolling so fast I couldn't even read them, and we don't want to miss anybody's questions getting answered. So please wait till the end of the show, and we'll tell you when it's time for that. And let's see here. If you ever miss one of our live shows, because we know stuff happens, some of you guys, you work, and I do know there's a bunch of you that sneak watching us at work because you've told me, so we think that's pretty cool. But you can always go back and watch any of our old episodes on our. We're trying to be consistent, so it's easy for you to find us. We also have 5 terrific door prizes today, and I'll be telling you a little later in the show how you can participate in that. But just to get you excited, we have a $25 gift certificate from Kruusn Quilt. We have an assortment of patterns from the Calico Cupboard. We have a goodie bag of treats from Terry Sue's Toffee. We have a travel cutting mat from the Big Mat Rotary Cutting Surface, and 2 square up rulers from Just Notions. So again, we'll tell you a little bit later in the show how you can participate. So I think that's all the housekeeping out of the way. So I am ready to get on with the show. So we're going to bring our first presenter in today. We want to welcome back Linda from Kruusn Quilt. She's got a super fun demo for you guys. So how you doing, Linda? We can't hear you.
I'm doing good.
Oh, there we go. Now we got you.
Good.
We can barely hear you.
How about now?
It's a little bit better.
All right. I got my microphone up as high as it'll go.
Okay, well, let me ask the viewers. Can you guys hear Linda okay? Say something, Linda.
Hello. I see somebody here from Coos Bay where we are, and a few other people from Oregon. Hi, Roxanne in Coos Bay.
Well, we hear you much better now. So I'm going to turn the full screen over to you because we're excited to see what you're going to show us.
All right. So my name's Linda, and I own Kruusn Quilt Designs in Coos Bay, Oregon. And today I am going to do a new demo. So this is brand new. I haven't done this before. I'm hoping to lecture on this at one of the shows coming up, maybe in Portland in April. And this is called The Magic of Fusible Applique. So I know that many people see Fusible Applique and they say they do not want to do it. Well, honestly, Fusible Applique is so easy to do. It just takes a little bit of practice and a little bit of time. And I'm going to give you a bunch of hints and tips on how to make your Fusible Applique projects come out better. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to flip my camera over to my other camera. Okay, well, I lost the other camera. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I lost my other camera, so I'll just have to hold everything in front of my face. So the first thing we need to talk about is tools. And the first tool is our fabric, of course. We have our fabric here. And then our second tool that we need is our fusible web. My current favorite for fusible web is Heat and Bond Light. I kind of go from different fusibles, but right now I am in love with Heat and Bond Light. And then we need 2 pairs of really good scissors. Now, these don't necessarily need to be your normal fabric scissors, but they do need to be very good scissors. So the first pair is going to be a really large pair like this. I love these. A lot of people don't like them because this is a 6-inch blade on it, but I'm going to show you later, a few minutes later, why that's important. And then we also want a small pair of little snips. Okay, there we go. The other thing we need is a marking pen to trace our designs, I like to use the fine line Sharpies like that, but you can also use this style of a Sharpie. When you do it that way, when you're drawing on the paper, you won't get the marks back on your hand. The next thing you're going to need is an open-toed foot. This foot is for my Bernina, and you'll notice it has a little groove here. And that will help the applique, the thread, glide under your foot. So this is an open toe foot. It's for a Bernina, and the number is 20C. So if you have a Bernina, a 20C is the foot that you want to do applique when you're stitching it down. And then the next thing we definitely need is a good quality thread. And I prefer something shiny. You can either use polyester or rayon. Rayon's a little bit slicker, and so it tends to come out of the stitching a little bit after you're stitching it down. There's some good inexpensive Coats and Clark. They're a tri-lobal polyester. They're very shiny. They're inexpensive, and they work really good for applique, for doing satin stitching and blanket stitch on your finished project. You want to use a number 10, not a number 10, a top stitch needle in your machine, and that can be a 90-14 or one of the other ones. It just really depends on the fabric. If you're doing if you've got batik fabrics, you're going to want a smaller needle, a sharper needle.
Linda, we've lost your sound again.
And again,
there you are.
This is a brand new computer. I don't know what's going on with it. Anyway, so thread, bottom line, a thin thread, a 60 weight thread in your bobbin will help those threads not go up to the top of your piece. So first off, we're going to trace our designs, and now that my other camera doesn't work, I'm completely thrown off. So we've traced our designs onto our Fusible web, and we have cut them out. My mic keeps shutting off, with about a 1/4 inch all the way around. We're going to go to our iron, and we're going to iron this to the wrong side of our fabric. You can see one that I've ironed already on here. And you're going to follow the instructions for the manufacturer, the Fusible that you're using. So every Fusible is a little bit different. You do not need to press really hard at this. I don't understand why my mic keeps turning on. This is not where you have to do a lot of muscle. It's just a quick press to get it to stick to your fabric. And now let's look at why we want big scissors. And this is going to be hard for me to show you without this other camera. Let's see if I can do this backwards. Maybe not. I'll have to go like this. So I'm going to start at my point, and I'm going to open my scissors as wide as I possibly can. And I'm starting on the point of my leaf with it at the very edge here of my scissors. And I'm just going to go all the way around this leaf as far as I can go, and I'm pulling the fabric. That was hard to do backwards. The main thing to know is that you're opening your scissors wide, you're starting at an edge, and then you're rolling your scissors and your fabric around. That's going to give you a nice round edge. Mine's not very round because I had a little blip there because I was doing it backwards. And because we started at the point and we ended at the point is going to be sharp. But what if you have something like this which is for our macaroni block. Macaroni is our dog here at the store, our mascot. And we've got all this little flurry of hair that he has going because he's a terrier. So I have all this big piece here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this around, and I'm going to get rid of some of this excess. So now if you look, I've cut this around and I've got these points, and they're almost to the tip of them. Let's see if I can do this. When I'm going to cut these here, I'm just going to start at the point, cut up to the, I'm sorry, I worked really hard and I thought this camera was going to work. We're going to start down at a point and then go up to the, where it comes together, and then go to the other point. Let me see if I can just do this so you can see. So you can see where I have cut it here on one side and on the other side. And then I'm going to start at my point and cut up. I guess I'm going to have to figure this out because this is the camera I was hoping to take to show at the shows when I do this lecture. So now I've come and stitched or cut up this way and then up this way, and had me meet, and I have a nice clean crisp point there. And I would do this all the way around here to get this part of the dog that I'm doing, our macaroni dog. Sometimes you have pieces that are really straight. This I cannot show you because I need to set it on a rotary cutter. This you could just cut with your ruler and your rotary cutter. You don't have to cut it by hand. If it's a straight line, cut it with your rotary cutter, and it will work perfect. You'll get perfectly straight lines. I also will use a rotary cutter on these little cutouts that I have here that need to be done, and then just get my scissors in there after I make a little slit. So let's talk a little bit about the stitching process of applique. And I think a lot of people feel like if you are going to satin stitch your whole project, then all the pieces need to be satin stitched. But that's not true. Each piece should be taken into consideration. So let's look here at our crow quilt here. And there's blanket stitching around the flowers. Now I've used an ombre for these flowers, and it was one fabric that had all those colors in it. So ombres are great for applique. And I've blanket stitched around the edges in coordinating and sometimes contrasting fabrics to get, or threads to get the flowers to look a little different. I also, on the birds, I straight stitched around those because they were so intricate and they had the leaves. So you can combine straight stitch, satin stitch, and blanket stitch all in the same piece. Now I'm going to put up on my website after we're done here different stitch lengths. So for a blanket stitch, I like to start at 2.0 for my length and 2.0 for my width. And then I run a practice if that looks good and it's to the size of the applique. So if it's a really teeny applique piece, you are going to want to have a smaller stitch than if it's a great big huge piece. So on a really large applique piece, if you're doing a satin stitch or a blanket stitch, you're going to want those little stitches to be a little bit longer than 2.0. The same goes for satin stitching. Look at the size of your applique piece and then determine how wide you're going to make it. I usually start out with, and I didn't write it down, 2.3 on my width and 2.6 on the length, and then adjust from there. Those are the default settings on my Bernini. I usually try to start with the default settings, do a sample, and then take it from there. Now, the final thing we're going to need that I forgot to tell you about is, and this is the most important part of the stitching part of the applique, is a non-woven tearaway stabilizer. And that is what you're going to do all your stitching on. That will give you a nice smooth finish. If you do not have a stabilizer under there, the fabric that doesn't have fusible web is going to pucker, where the fabric with the fusible web, the applique part, will. I'm really sorry about my mic going in and out. I'm going to call this good for now. I know I'm not quite at 15 minutes.
Well, you're such a trooper.
I have, I will put the little thing on our website. It'll be a little PDF thing. It'll be under the, if you go shop now, and then you'll see the Wild Wednesday logo. Everything I talked about will be under that. Light boards are nice to have. That's all under there. It's all 10% off. You do not need a code for anything that I talked about today, and even some things I didn't talk about today that are nice for applique. I also am working on a video tutorial that we hope to have up on our website soon. And like I said, I'm working on bringing this lecture about the magic of Fusible applique to the Quilt Craft Sew festivals as one of my lectures.
Well, we look forward to that. And again, I appreciate you trudging along there. You know, our viewers know stuff happens and we just roll with it. And we got a lot of good information from you, even with you not being able to use your two cameras. So we just appreciate you being on, and we appreciate that you've donated a great prize for our drawing later on. So we hope you'll stick around till the end. I'm sure they've got some questions, and we'll be back with you soon.
All right.
Thanks, Linda. Okay, guys, like we always tell you, stuff happens. We just roll with it. We make the best of it. And I know she was frustrated because she's usually so right on top of it. So I know that was frustrating for her. But at any rate, we still got a lot of great information. And again, be sure you visit her website. All right, I do have a really quick tip for you before we move on to our next presenter. This is something a lot of times people don't think about, or perhaps if you're kind of new to quilting, you may not realize it. And, you know, when people find out that I'm involved in quilting and they have nothing to do with quilting, so often they'll say to me, oh, I have this great quilt that my grandmother or my great grandmother or someone gave to me, and I take really good care of it. I've got it tucked away in a dry cleaning bag. And I usually about have a heart attack right then and there. Because for those of you that maybe aren't familiar, you should never store a quilt in a plastic bag because it will get moisture and will cause it to rot faster. If you need to fold it up and store it, the best thing to store it in is a pillowcase or wrapped in a sheet. But the ultimate best way to store a quilt, especially an antique quilt, is take some of the paper tubes, you know, that wrapping paper, come on, tape a few of those together and roll it with a sheet. And then if you can shove it under a bed somewhere, that's going to make sure that you don't get any permanent crease marks. Now, I know a lot of you guys participate in that tomfoolery that they call daylight savings time. We don't participate in that here in Arizona, thank goodness. But a real good way to remind you if you've got quilts stored that are folded is every time the time changes, get those out and refold them in a different spot so that you're not going to get permanent creases. So that's my tip for today. Just a better way to make sure you're taking care of those antique quilts and you're not getting permanent creases in them. Okay. Next up is one of our favorites as well, and it's Suzanne from the Calico Cupboard. And I asked her, actually, I said, would you do me a favor? We talk so much about the fabric books, but I know, again, we have a lot of viewers who are beginners, or maybe even some of you long-term quilters who have never done the books. who have no idea how simple they are. So she's going to show us today exactly how easy it is to do those fabric books, which are great gifts for kids and grandkids and nieces and nephews. So we're going to bring Suzanne in right now. So hi, Suzanne.
Hi everyone.
Welcome back.
Thanks. I'm glad to be back with you.
And you're going to be in Sacramento with us.
Yes, we're really excited. We're getting ready to go back to Sacramento for the first time since 2019.
Yeah, we're so glad you're going to be there because I know you've got some new stuff that I cannot live without, so I need to come shopping.
Got new stuff to share.
Well, we're going to turn it over to you because I know you've got a lot to share today.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our frequent flyers, our Wild Wednesday family. And to all of you new folks who haven't been with us before, we're so happy to have you. To anyone in the Sacramento area, we look forward to seeing you next week. We know gas is expensive, but we hope you'll carpool and come see us. So we're looking forward to seeing you. We've got a lot of new fabric and projects for you. So as Raylene said, today I'm going to share with you again the technique for making the fabric books. It's really quick and easy, and as she also said, they make wonderful gifts. I also have some new fabric that we've just gotten in for this show next week, which I'm excited to share with you, and a couple new patterns. So books, aprons, quilt panels, and a couple patterns. So let's get started. For those of you who don't already know, the book panels usually come like this, and it's a set of 6 different panels that go together to make a book. So in the end, you're going to have 3 sets together. So first thing you want to do is cut around the edges and cut out all your panels. Now, the nice thing about these book panels is the manufacturers have already given you the instructions. And as you can see, they give you your supplies, whoops, over here. And then I'll hold it so you can see the cutting instructions for how to layer the book panels together and cut them out. So if you don't remember what I say today, don't worry, it's already on the panel for you. So I'm going to tip this down so you can see hopefully what I'm doing down here. So after you get your 6 sets cut out, and this one is called Your Gift to Me. This is one of our new panels that we got in. And when you finish it, the little dog's ears stick up through the outside so you can see them. So you're going to lay down the first set of the panels, which is the book cover, actually. At this point, if you would like to be able to close your book with a closure, like I have a ribbon here, you want to put this on right now in the middle of the sides. If you forget this, you're not going to have any way to close it up when you're finished. And so the next piece you lay on is actually pages 1 and 10. And I know that sounds backwards, but don't worry, it all works out. And then you're going to cut out a piece of fleece or batting the exact same size. So you're going to end up with 3 units, 2 pieces of fabric each, and 1 piece of batting or fleece. At this point, this is where I like to add a little design interest of my own that I like. If you sewed it just the way it is, you would have square corners. But I like to make my corners a little rounded. And so I take a bobbin and I lay it down in the corner. And with my marking pen, I just mark around half of that bobbin. And that's just happened to be the perfect size to make a nice rounded edge on my corners. So now you're ready. You have all 3 layers, all 3 sets together, and you're going to start sewing. You want to leave an opening right here on the bottom edge of your book page, about 3 to 4 inches, enough so you can get your hand in to push out those corners. So start on one side, stitch all the way around to the other side. I tack my stitches at the beginning and the end so they don't pull out while I'm working with it, because you kind of have to manhandle it a little bit. And then at this point, you're ready to trim the corners and clip around those corners so they turn nicely. And if you'd like to, at this point, you can also trim away a little bit of the fabric. Also, turn it over, and right along that stitching line, very, very carefully, trim away the batting that extends out into your seam allowance. That will make your book edges a little less bulky, but be very, very careful when you do it here, because you don't want to cut into the body of your book. That won't be fun. So at that point, you're ready to turn everything right side out. And here's the one I've got finished so I can show you. So you can see I have 3 layers here of my book, and I've turned it right side out. And here's the cover. So you can see that I have ribbon extending out of the cover. You're going to put a turner in and turn out your corners so they're nice. And then the area that you left open for turning, you're going to turn that in about 1/4 of an inch, and I pin that closed, and then I hand stitch along here. Now, if you don't want to hand stitch it, you can also machine stitch all the way around the outside of the book, and that will close these edges as well. But I like to hand stitch mine. So now you have your 3 layers, and you'll notice that the book cover itself is actually a little bit bigger than the other 2 layers. And that's so that when you fold your book up, those 2 inner layers are encased inside your book and they don't stick out. So layer it, center it, make sure you have the same amount of fabric all the way around your cover. And then you're going to mark, and this particular book has actually a center line, and so I just stitch on that line. But you'll have some books that don't have a center line dividing the 2 pages, and so then you want to just draw yourself a line so you have something to stitch on. Now, because you're going to have 3 layers of batting and 6 layers of fabric, if you use a regular foot on your machine, you're going to get some bunching. So I like to lengthen my stitch length a little, and you're going to need to practice on your machine to see what works right for you. And then I use a walking foot or an even feed foot. That makes the fabrics, all the layers of fabric, move at the same time, and you'll get a much better looking project when you're finished. So that's the end, and you're all done. They really do go together pretty fast. I think you can make one in a couple of hours. And I'm happy to say I'm going to show you some of the new books we got in. Dexter the Dinosaur is back. He was really popular for us in the past, and a lot of you have requested him. So this one is called Dexter the Dinosaur Learns All About Letters. And of course, we had to have Dexter the Dinosaur Learns All About Numbers. And then we have another set. These are really cute. This one says lots of love, little one. And it, when you're finished, will have a heart that sticks out of the top, like the dog's ears did on that other one. And then we have this one called If Kisses Were Raindrops. And this one has an umbrella top. And the way you do that, of course, is to sew it in the beginning, and it's attached to the back cover so that when you turn the pages of your book, each page will have that little umbrella or the heart or the dog's ears. So If Kisses Were Raindrops. And here's another really cute one. This is from the Country Caboodle. And this is called Some More Fun Outdoors. And it has a lot of little creatures. You can see they're camping. And then they do different activities as they're camping. And in the end, they sit around the campfire and have s'mores. So Some More Fun Outdoors. And then here we have Noah's Ark. And this had a panel that goes with it. I'll show you the cute panel that makes a quilt. So this is Noah's Ark. And then the last of our new ones is called Teacher's Pet. And this is a learning book. And it has a lot of activities inside. You can write all about the child. And then a lot of numbers and animals and words and letters. So this is a good teaching one for little kids. So those are the books we have. And as I mentioned, we do have that panel that goes with the Noah's Ark. Let me turn this back up so you can see what I'm doing here. So here's the Noah's Ark panel, and it's real cute and very, very bright. And we also have had some apron panels in the past, and a lot of you have really liked them and requested them. So I've got some new apron things to show you. To our panels, and one is a pattern. So this is our most recent panel. It's called Bloom and Poppies, and it comes just like the books. It's printed actually on the fabric, and what you get is the fabric to make the outside of the apron, or just the apron. I like to line my aprons because it makes them a little sturdier. They last a little longer. So if you're just going to make the apron by itself, you get the straps and enough fabric to make the pocket. But I lined mine, and this is a coordinating fabric that goes with the Bloom and Poppies. And I made another pocket on the inside. And the nice thing about this panel is it comes with a couple of motifs. You get a bird and you get a poppy. So I made my pocket, and before I sewed the pocket together, I did the fusible applique like our other vendor was showing you about, and I just stitched around it, just an outline stitch. Then I made my pocket. So if you're going to line it, you put right sides together, stitch all the way around. Don't forget to leave an opening. I like to leave my opening along the side because it's easier to hand stitch. Turn it right side out. Clip your armhole edges so they turn more nicely, and then stitch it closed. People come up to the booth and they can't figure out how I closed it up because they don't see those stitches. If you don't want to stitch by hand, you can stitch all the way around your apron and enclose that open edge. And then here's another pattern. This one is cute bee fabric, and this is called Punch and Cookies, the apron pattern. So that's available. The nice thing about using a panel for your apron is if you traced it onto tracing paper for patterns, you would actually have a pattern. So you could replicate this with any other fabric you happen to have at home. It wouldn't have to be the panel. So here's our other panel. This is called Burger Time. It's been real popular for our fellas who like to barbecue, and we'll have this at the show as well. So those are the aprons. And then, as I said, I have some panels to show you. This is called Easter Parade, and it's, Easter's coming in April, can't remember exactly the date, but Easter. So it has several different motifs. This is a large size, so it would be perfect for a placemat. And then it has several smaller motifs, like this one can make a small wall hanging or small centerpiece. Sew them together and make a table runner. So that's available. And for our Mary Englebright fans, I'm happy to tell you that Mary's Mottos is back. This is a panel that was very popular several years ago. Mary's got her following, and it has 9 different blocks on it. Lots of cute sayings. So Mary's Motto is available. It's $8.50, and it's on our website. We do have a few Mary Englebright fabrics left. She hasn't come up with any new designs lately that I'm aware of. So it's been a while since we've had her back. And so I'm happy to say Mary's Mottos is back. And here's another new panel. It's called BU, and you can see that it has a beehive and a big bee on it. It has a number of fabrics in the line that coordinate with it. This panel, it happens to be a 24-inch panel, so it's 24 by 43, and it's $8.49. And then we did get in a couple of the coordinates, and this is one of them, and it's a border print. Has some really nice designs on it, and could make a cute apron as well, or a table runner even. So you've got the border print. These are $12.25 a yard. And then there's the blocks. And this is going to make a really cute small wall hanging. But it's very positive sayings. It says, be the queen, be kind, farm fresh honey, be happy, be sweet, be positive. So this is a really cute line of fabric, and it's called BU, and we just got it in, but it's up on our website. So check that out. And then the last panel I want to share with you is called Happy Valley Farm. And this is a nice red barn. It's a barnyard. It has chickens and bunnies and pigs and little ducks and donkeys and birds. It's real cute and happy looking. And we got a cute fabric that coordinates with it. And then we also got from that same line the blocks that also have those animals on it. And this is a 24 by 43-inch panel, and it's got larger designs of the same ones that are in the barnyard. Chickens, little chickies, and donkeys, and bunnies, and pigs. And so that's Happy Valley Farm. And then we got a couple of patterns that I'm really happy to share with you. Getting ready for Sacramento. Last time I shared with you the coaster pattern that comes with the silicone to make the coasters. So now that same company has come out with a trivet pattern, and this is the small size. It's a 8-inch square, so it makes a trivet. You can see this hot dish sitting on the trivet there. So you get the silicone, and then it has a pattern for you with all the instructions to put it together. So again, this is the small one, and it's $12, and it comes with a piece of silicone, and it's an 8-inch square. And then the last one is a larger trivet, and this one is 9.5-inch square. It also comes with a silicone and all the instructions, and it's $12.50. And we do have replacements. If you want to make more than one, you can buy extra silicone for both of these. So we look forward to seeing all of you who can come to Sacramento. And if you can't, go ahead and order our special for Wild Wednesdays Live is 20% off your $25 order. And our door prize is an assortment of patterns that we're going to be sending out. Just a quick note, though, that we're getting ready for the show, so I may not get your order out until after we get back from the show on March 28th. So check out our website. We've got a lot of new things to share with you. I'm so happy to see you all today. And I look forward to seeing you come by and say hi. I get wild with you on Wednesday at our booth, and we'll have something special for you. And we look forward to seeing you all. So happy stitching. Take care, everyone.
That was awesome, Suzanne. I think everybody it's nice sometimes to have a refresher on things. So even if you've seen that little book before, just a reminder how easy they are. And that last one, The Teacher's Pet, everybody needs that. Anybody with a little one. I mean, what a great teaching tool. I'm excited about that one. I think I'm going to have to pick that one up. So, but I hope you'll stick around till the end so that I'm sure they've got some questions for you. And we'll be back with you in a few minutes. Okay, we're going to let her go since she was choking there. So, all right, guys. So we've got one more vendor today. So stay tuned, because right after we finish this last presentation, we'll be giving you the secret word for today's door prizes. But I'm so excited for our next vendor, because you guys all know she is one of Beth and I's favorites. I have been training for her booth for the last several weeks because I know I'm going to gain 75 pounds in Sacramento. So I know you guys are also excited to see her in person and grab up a bunch of treats. So we're so excited to have Terry Sue back. Terry back from Terry Sue's Toffee. I have a bad habit of calling her Terry Sue. Her name's Terry. But she answers to it, though, so I think she's used to us call her just whatever. We just say food. We just call her, it's food. But she's got a bunch of fun things to show us, and look at all those pretties on the table. So I'm just going to turn it over to you, Terry.
Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be back and talk to you, I guess. Honestly, I get nervous, but I'm happy to be back with my quilting friends, and so excited for the Sacramento show next week. It's back at Cal Expo for the first time in, I think, 2 years or 3 years. And we're looking forward to seeing all of our local Sacramento ladies, and hopefully some of you from out of town too. I know prices of gas are astronomical, but hopefully you're carpooling anyway and will show up and enjoy the show with us. Everyone is working so hard and anxious to see you all. We are so close to Easter, and so filling Easter baskets is a really fun thing that we like to do here. We have so many different products that we can fill an Easter basket with, but what I have on the table here, first off, up close here, I've got one of our caramel apples that we have so many different flavoring toppings. We dip everything in our handmade caramel that we make from scratch, and we all have burns on our arms from stirring and pouring caramel, but it's worth it and it's good. So we have our caramel apples that on our website, you can choose your toppings you want from different nuts or crushed up Oreos, or our Terry Sue's toffee apple, our trademark apple, I guess, or our signature apple, I call it, is fully dipped in our caramel and then rolled in, or then dipped in chocolate, and we use both milk chocolate or dark chocolate or even white chocolate. And then we roll it in our toffee crumbs and drizzle and decorate it. So that is our Terry Sue's Toffee signature apple. But you can check it out on our website, tstoffee.com, for all your different options for your caramel apples. We have also, we're always doing something new and fun. We're trying out some new little caramel, chocolate covered caramels. We've been asked about those for years, and we're finally getting to some of those projects we've had a hard time getting to for a while. We have our caramel, these are pecan turtles. We make both pecan turtles or we make almond turtles. And these are milk chocolate here, but we also do those in dark. We've got our wonderful peanut brittle that's very popular, especially at the shows. I've got some quilting vendors that are always anxious to make sure you save me a bunch of peanut brittle. And so we do the peanut brittle, but we also do a mixed nut brittle that has the different, let's see, we do pecan, cashew, pistachio, and almonds in our mixed nut brittle. So we'll have 2 different kinds of brittle at the show next week. We're available to ship as well. We do several different fudges. Our fudge is a smooth, creamy fudge. We make our fudge from scratch. A lot of people, even candy stores that sell fudge, they have a pre-made mix that they just cook up, stir, and that's that. We're making our fudge from scratch, so I think our fudge is better and it's unique. Today we have our cookies and cream fudge that's made with white chocolate and crushed Oreos. We've got a dark chocolate walnut fudge. I live in Chico, California, which is an agricultural area. So we are able to get a lot of our nuts fresh from the growers. And the fresh nuts that haven't been sitting in a warehouse for a year make a difference in our products. So I've got dark chocolate and walnut fudge. We roast our walnuts before we use them. And we've got a Rocky Road fudge that has more of a regular chocolate with, hold on a second here, lots of marshmallows and walnuts in it as well. And we've got our chocolate pecan fudge is one of our most popular. Is the chocolate with the pecans inside, just chocolate. We've also got, let's see, Panucci is one that we do. It's kind of a Spanish Italian fudge, but it doesn't have any chocolate in it. It's just brown sugar and the cream and the roasted walnuts. But the Panucci fudge is something special too. We also have a chocolate peanut butter fudge. And I think that's about it. Anyway, so we have lots of fudges. I started off my business doing toffee. I've been making toffee since I was a little girl with my Aunt Sue. So our toffee, we top either with milk or dark chocolate. It all has the almonds inside. And then we top it with either almonds or roasted walnuts or salted pistachio. So I like the pistachio. I like that little salt with sweet flavor, but we have 6 different varieties of toffee we'll be bringing and available to ship to you as well. These are our 2 sizes. We do the 5-ounce bag or the 7.5 ounce box. It's a bag or a box, and this is kind of what it looks like when you order it. If you order something online for a gift or for a party and have a theme or special colors or any kind of requests, please use my message box on the order form online to give me any special requests as far as color, or if you're sending for a gift, please also give me a message to include, and my friend Julie, she'll help me write with her pretty writing a nice greeting, or get well, or thank you, or welcome home, or whatever your message is. We're happy to send that along with your gift. Our caramel squares are really, really popular. The ones we have here on the table today are our Marshmallow Caramels. So everyone loves a Scotch Mellow from C's Candy, and I think our caramel's better than C's. Anyway, our caramel squares, I'm showing the marshmallow ones. We have just the regular vanilla or the salted caramel. We have 14 different kinds of caramel, and for this show, we always in the spring, through Mother's Day, we'll do the strawberry champagne caramel. So that's our seasonal caramel we're doing this year, as well as online you can see the different flavors and nuts. We also do a bourbon caramel, a Bailey's cider cream caramel, salted bourbon, coffee, mango habanero. A lot of people at the quilt shows tend to really like our black licorice caramel. And black licorice, I have a friend that is gluten-free. Our caramels are gluten-free, so she can enjoy the flavor of black licorice or any of the other caramels and not worry about the gluten that is actually in traditional licorice. And then we have our Marshmallow Pops. They're always fun. Caramel apples are wonderful and everybody loves them, but the marshmallows are definitely easier to eat and a fun little inexpensive gift to share with your family, friends, office gifts, or just yourself. We also, I don't have any out with me today, but we also have some that we dipped in caramel and then the chocolate too. So we'll have those at the show next week. Everybody loves our cookies. Everyone loves the different classes that Raylene and a lot of the other ladies give at the quilt shows. And it's not unusual to get a rush on our table for cookies or any of our treats, to be honest, either right before class or right after class, because people want something to snack on, or they're hungry and need something quick after their class where they learn so much from all these professionals. Something else new, I told you we're always working on something new. We're doing Rocky Road clusters now. So we'll have some of these packaged and available. They're not on our website yet, but they'll be similar to our turtles online. And I'll have some of these available at the show. And so my special I'm offering for Wild Wednesday people this time is I'm offering free shipping, and it's free shipping for an order over $40. This is our $40 gift box that you can order if this is what you want to do. It's just a sampling box of a lot of our favorites. It includes an apple of your choice, a marshmallow pop, a bag of our toffee, a 2-pack of our cookies, and a pecan turtle. And I let you customize that as far as letting me know what kind of apple you would like, what toppings, if you want milk or dark or white chocolate, marshmallow, which cookies of our 3 different cookies that we do, or 4, I guess. This is a pistachio toffee sugar cookie. I've got the chocolate chip toffee cookies, the peanut butter caramel, and the oatmeal raisin. So you get a choice of making this $40 gift box the way you want. It's already, I mail it just like this, so I can send it to someone as a gift for you, or I can put it in a post office box as well. We do have to be careful with weather. So as it gets warmer, we'll have to start adding ice packs for shipping. And I just watch the weather really carefully when when I get an order. If I can hold an order for a couple days and it's going to ship better because of the heat, I will do that. So if you place an order, please let me know if you need it for a certain date or occasion, because like I said, I pay attention to the weather, and I also try not to ship after Wednesday or sometimes Thursday, depending on how far I'm shipping, because I don't want it sitting on a mail truck over the weekend. So let me know, are there any other questions or things you want to see?
Well, you pretty much covered everything. And I was sitting here remembering of something funny. It's like, of course, I love everything, but my favorite, well, I love everything, but I always walk away with a bag full of the salted caramels. My dentist last week told me I can't eat those anymore.
Well, that's not very nice.
Oh, I almost slapped her. I'm like, you don't understand. I'm going to Sacramento to get my stash. But, for our viewers, her peanut brittle is the most buttery, melt in your mouth peanut brittle you've ever had in your life. And I love everything again, but funny story, a couple of years ago, I had bought a box of the fudge and I hid it in the back of a crisper drawer in the refrigerator. And at the time, my mom was living with us, and my mom loved candy. So I always had cheap candy for her. And she found my fudge, and she was like, oh, the good stuff is in the back of the. She ate the whole box. I was cutting off a little piece every couple of days. I was making that box last me forever. And when she didn't tell me she had found it till she'd pretty much finished it off. So.
What a turkey!
I know, it was funny. It was like she got a bigger sweet tooth as her health declined, so she was like loving anything sweet. But yeah, she got my good fudge. And someone commented about toffee being their favorite. It's always been my favorite too. And I'm telling you guys, since I met Terry, I can't even look at a Heath bar because that's just so horrible. And that was my go-to candy.
That's a hard toffee.
You know what? But that was, before I met Terry, that was my go-to toffee bar. And now, no way. Yuck. I have higher taste quality than that now. So,
good.
All right. Well,
thank you.
I know there's probably going to be a couple questions. We're going to bring everybody back in. But while we're getting everybody back on the screen, I'm going to give everybody the secret word for today for the door prizes. So just a reminder, we have a $25 gift certificate from Linda at Kruusn Quilt. We have an assortment of patterns from Suzanne at the Calico Cupboard. We have a goodie bag of treats from Terry's Sue's Toffee. We have a travel cutting mat from the Big Mat Rotary Cutting Surface and 2 square rulers from Just Notions. So if you guys are new to us, how this works is I'm about to give you the secret word. Once I give you the word, you simply type it in the comments. Please just do it one time. And then check back on on our Facebook page, Wild Wednesday Live Facebook page. In about an hour after the show is over, you will see a big picture, and I pinned it to the top of the page so you don't have to go looking. A big colorful thing that says winner, and it will list who the winners for today are and tell you what to do to redeem your prize. So if everybody's ready, today's secret word is party.
Party.
Party. And that's our reminder also, don't forget to get your party tickets because we are going to be cutting off sales probably Friday or Saturday because we need to be able to give our vendors an accurate count for the swag bags they're helping us fill up. So again, secret word is party. All right, so we've brought everybody back in. So once you finish typing in party, if you have questions for any of our vendors from today, now is the time to type those in, and I'll be watching for those and we'll field them. And also a reminder, while you're doing that, you want to make sure that when you visit Beth's booth, my booth, Suzanne, also I'm trying to remember, Adele and Teresa from Big Mat, and say I get wild with you on Wednesday. They have a little gift for you. But we always say, don't just be looking for the free gifts, guys. Anytime you see one of the vendors that you've seen on the show, please, if they're not busy, take a moment and just thank them because it's a lot of work for them to come on the show. And then you have frustrating things like poor Linda did today where she was all ready and had a technical issue. But we are so appreciative of all of our vendors' support, because we wouldn't have been doing this for now almost a year and a half without our wonderful vendors. So And great, Kathy says she's got her tickets. Evelyn says, tell us more about the party. Okay, well, I can do that real quick. It's going to be Friday night from 6:30 to 8:30 at the Arden Star Hotel, which is right near the Cal Expo. It's on Howe Street, Howe. Ticket is $25, and that is to cover the cost of the room. And we're going to have some snacks and water for you. We're not going to feed you, so be sure you have a sandwich before you get there. But everyone, as part of your ticket, you're also going to get a real cute little tote bag full of amazing things that have been donated, coupons, discounts, what have you, from our supportive vendors who are just so awesome. And several of our vendors are also going to be at the party, so you'll get a chance to meet them face to face outside of the show, because sometimes at the show we want to visit with you, but just way too busy. So this will give you a chance to meet some of them as well. So that's the party. And okay, here's some questions. Kathleen wants to know, Terry, are Terry's chocolate covered caramels on the website?
Not yet.
Okay, good. That means not yet means they will be, but she'll have them at the show. So, and this is for Suzanne. What is the price of the hamburger apron panel and the dinosaur book, the Dexter the Dinosaur book?
They're both $11.99.
Awesome. Thank you.
And just a reminder to anybody who's ordered before, not during the sale, of course, but any other time you reorder, you automatically get a 10% discount.
Ooh, that's a great deal.
We have a loyalty system for people who have ordered previously, but
fantastic. Let's see. I saw something right now. Ron's trying to point it out to me. Sherry would like to know, Terry, do you have any candy without nuts?
I do. Our caramels only 3 of our different caramels have nuts. Our marshmallows do not have nuts. I have cookies, oatmeal raisin, and the peanut butter is smooth, creamy peanut butter. So it depends on if it's a nut allergy or the texture. Your caramel apples, you can order different ones with no nuts. And I have fudge, several different fudges without nuts. We also have been bringing some little packets of what we call butter toffee. And it's just toffee without nuts coated with chocolate. So I should have some of those too, but they're not on the website, but I bring them to the show.
A lot of choices. Awesome. Also for Terry, Jenny would like to know how much it would be for 6 of the big Marshmallow Pops.
Oh my gosh.
Or even better, how much are they each? We'll make you do math.
I think right now we're selling them for $3.50 or $4. Honestly, ladies, I have to raise my prices. My chocolate and my nuts and my sugar and all of my ingredients have shot up. So right now, what you see on my website as far as prices go, consider those sale prices because they're all going to have to increase, unfortunately.
Now, Terry, I do know that Jenny, who's asking that question, is not a computer person, so she's not a website person. Is there a phone number she can call and place an order?
Absolutely. My phone number is 530-624-1970. And that's my cell phone number. So I have it with me all the time. I don't always answer if I don't know who's calling, but please leave a message. You can also email me at Terry with 2 R's and 1 I, so TERRI at T for Terry, S for Sue, Toffee, TOFFEE.com.
Awesome. Linda. So Leandra would like to know if Kruusn Quilts will be in Sacramento.
No.
I know. I didn't think you were, but I thought. She says, I'm in Oregon next week prior to the SAC show and wanted to try and stop by if I can get away. So see, if you're going to be in Oregon, she'll probably be there, right?
I'll be in Oregon. I'll be at my store.
So sad for us that you're not at the show, but sounds like it's a win-win for Leandra because you're going to be at the shop. So that's awesome.
And I see Evelyn was asking if we had ombre fabrics, and we do have over 200 bolts of ombre fabrics. They are all on our website.
Awesome. And okay, Margie, now Linda, you're going to be in Portland, right?
Yes.
Okay, Linda will be in Portland, but I don't believe any of the rest of us will be. I know Beth and I will not be there. I know Suzanne won't be there. So you'll just have to see us some other time down the road. It was really hard for me to make the decision, but we drive a diesel, and even though we get fantastic gas mileage, by the time that show comes around, it's probably going to be pushing $10, and it's a 2-day drive for us. So I know that was a big factor for us, but it's like the only one of the Quilt Craft shows we're not doing so far this year. So, but we'll see y'all down the road somewhere else. And so, well, Leandra, you're just bragging now. You'll be at the SAC show and you'll be in Oregon to see her at the shop. So you're right. That's a big old win-win. Someone asked, FF Stu, is online shop working now? Who's on? Everybody's website should be working fine. They've all been scrolling on the screen. And if you have questions about it, even after the fact, you can type them in on the comments, because I will still get a notice if there's a new comment. We'll help you out. But you can also go to what's scrolling on the screen right now, quiltcraftsowmall.com, and all of today's vendors have a little shop on there that will direct you right to their website. And we're working on some new things, Beth and I are, to make it a little bit easier going forward for you to get really fat. We're going to we're trying to make everything the same, so that when you go to one location to find all of today's presenters, you're always typing in the same thing, Wild Wednesday Live, whether it be YouTube, Facebook, website, whatever. So we're working on that. But me and Beth have been telling you, we're so crazy busy. We don't even know our name half the time recently. We have lots of great, big, huge ideas. And luckily we're at a point now where when one of us has a great idea, the other one says, shut your mouth. We're not doing that, because we want to do everything and we can't. So let me see if there's any more questions before we sign off for today. Oh, gotcha. She asked me. Okay, gotcha. Thank you. And I think that's it. I don't think Mary Vitti was on with us today, because I was going to say something to her about the fact that Linda has that quilt hanging behind her. Mary Vitti, who's a regular viewer, and I have a creep factor to gnomes. We hate them. We hate them with a passion. And they're everywhere we go. And actually, recently, while we were at a show, somebody went and stuck one in poor Mary's front yard even. So, but Mary's not on. But I know she'll watch later, so she'll probably hear me say this. But we looks like we got everybody's questions all answered. And I want to thank all of our vendors that presented today. Again, it is not easy to stop in the middle of the day and do this. And they're so generous with their door prizes. We thank you guys, the viewers, because you have supported us so much over the last year and a half. Enough that hopefully we can keep doing this for a long time to come. So reminder, next week, because we will be at Sacramento, we'll be at 3:00 Pacific time on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So that's all for today. We thank our vendors again, and we hope to see you guys next week at the show. If not,
Bye, everyone.
thank you. See you later. Bye-bye now.
Bye.